Hello dear friends, welcome to my channel. This video is going to talk about the object oriented programming. Myself Kinjan Sangpi welcomes you. In this session we are going to learn about the different programming paradigms, the need of object oriented programming and the fundamentals of OOP. After this session you will be able to distinguish various programming paradigms, understand the need of object oriented programming and its benefits. Be acquainted with the fundamentals of OOP. So, we are going to see about the different programming paradigms and languages like procedure programming, modular programming, object oriented programming, generic programming. We will understand what are the limitations of procedural programming and why we need object oriented programming, followed by the various fundamentals of OOP. So, here we always know about the different programming techniques which are available, that every program is unstructured. Similarly, then it went on for procedure oriented programming. After following to procedure oriented, we switched on to modular programming paradigm and the technique, and after that came up object oriented and generic programming techniques. Supporting all these programming techniques, there are four types of languages, that is machine language, assembly language, procedure oriented and object oriented. So, some of the languages are there which are procedure oriented, some of the languages are there which are object oriented. As for example, C is an procedure oriented, whereas C++ is object oriented. Now, coming to the programming paradigms, there are unstructured programming means what? There is a main program, everything in one single program. That is just a part of unstructured programming, but there is no structure which is followed. In the procedure programming, a certain structure is followed. The task is divided into procedure and each process has data which is shared through the main function. Then comes the modular programming, where the task is divided into module and each module has its own data and procedure, as well as can access the global data also. Here each module interact with the other module through main function. So, there is module 1 and module 2 which is having its own procedure and data, and when module 1 wants to interact with module 2, it has to do it through the main program. Then comes object oriented programming. Here each object can interact with another object directly, but each data of object 1 cannot be shared with object 2 without its permission. So, your program is actually divided into objects and data is very much taken care of. Last programming technique, that is generic programming technique, which is raising the level of abstraction, wherein suppose that you consider that if you want to make a program a general purpose so that it can work for any of the data type, that type of programming is known as what? Generic programming technique. So, with generic programming technique, your level of abstraction is just very much higher, and here one way of using this feature of generic programming in C++ is templates. So, is in some sense an application of templates. Some definitions which are found in literature, that programming with generic parameters, or it is an abstracting from concrete types, it is programming with parameterized components. Again, it avoids unnecessary code duplication. Now, we come towards after seeing all these five programming paradigms, that is unstructured, then you have procedure oriented, you have modular, then object oriented and generic. We focus on procedure oriented and object oriented. Let's see about what is procedure oriented. As already discussed, that your main program and data is there, where it is divided into various functions. Each function can have its own data, as well as it can have the local data, global data, which it can share through the main program. Now, if function 1 has its own data, and if function 1 changes the data which is globally available to all the functions, then the same changed data will be available to function 2 and function 3. So, here if one of the function changes the global data, it affects to all of the function. All of the function has the same changed data value. Whereas local data means what, that function will just have its own data, and if it changes the local data, it will not get affected to the next function. So here this is known, procedure programming is also known as functional programming, and basically it was introduced to reuse a particular part of code. Main purpose here was to divide the problems into several sub problems so that each of the sub problems can be solved independently. It forces to refer the larger blocks of memory, and hence the data is majorly corrupted in case of procedure programming paradigm technique. In procedure programming paradigm, so you have a function with 1, function 2, function 3 as already discussed. If function 1 changes the global data, function 2 will get the change value of the global data. So this is happening in case of functional programming, that all important data is generally placed globally, which so that it can be accessed by all functions. But disadvantage of this is what, global data is not secure, because if global data is changed by one function, it affects to the other function also, and the other function's data of global value which it has set previously will be vanished. Now here again each function has its own local data. If a program is very large, however, in case of procedure programming, it is very difficult to identify what data is being accessed by which function. So there are certain limitations of procedure oriented programming. Is here emphasis is done only on doing things, it is not on data. So data is not secure in case of procedure programming. As soon as your program is very large, very complex, it becomes a very big strain, and it is impossible to handle the large programs in case of procedure oriented programming, whereas functions have unrestricted access to the global data over here. So programs become very difficult to be modified in case of procedural programming. Real world objects are also not modeled effectively in case of procedure programming. So that is why comes to overcome all these limitations of earlier approaches, we have to use the need of object oriented programming. Now by using the OOP, we are going to go into details in the next video about what is fundamentals of OOP. Now OOP is actually benefiting you in case of reusability, that you have to define only one class and it can be reused by n objects. And each object does not have to define its own data, its own function. Only one class if you define, it will be applicable to all the objects which are similar of that type. Then redundancy is almost eliminated by inheritance in case of OOP. Data is much more secure due to the data hiding. Without the permission of one object, it is not easily accessible to the other data. Upgradation is easily possible, modification is easily possible due to modularity in case of object oriented programming. Message passing technique is for communication between the objects, and so that it makes the interface with the external system much more simpler. The software complexity also can be easily managed, and the polymorphism gives the feature of extensibility, so that it can add new meaning to a particular thing in case of polymorphism. So many forms can be taken in case of object oriented programming. Now before going for diving into OOP, we will like to know about what is difference between OOP and POP. So as is the nomenclature says about the abbreviation, OOP is object oriented programming, whereas POP is procedure oriented programming, which focuses on procedural abstraction. In case of OOP, the program is divided into small chunks called objects, whereas in POP, main program is divided into functions. There are three accessing modes in OOP, that is private, public, but in PO and protected, whereas in POP there are public, but as such we do not use an accessing mode to access the attribute of a function. By default it is actually public itself. The main focus in case of OOP is on data, whereas in POP it is relying on functions or algorithms. In OOP, various functions can work simultaneously, while in POP it follows a systematic step-by-step approach to execute the method and function. It is fixed that after first function, second function will be invoked. After the second function, third function will be invoked. So no functions can work simultaneously in case of procedure oriented programming. In case of data control, in OOP, the data and functions of an object act like a single entity. So accessibility is very limited to the member functions of the same class. In POP, however, data can move freely because each function contains its own different data. OOP is, however, more secure than POP due to its data hiding feature, which is not possible in case of POP. Modification of objects is easily possible in case of object oriented programming, but in POP it is very difficult because without revising the whole program, modification is very difficult. OOP uses a bottom up approach, whereas POP approaches a top down approach when it is designing a program. The commonly used OOP languages are Python, C++, VB.NET, Java and so on, whereas Pascal, Fortran, C are some of the examples of procedure oriented programming. So this is how we can summarize that OOP takes bottom up approach while POP follows top down approach. OOP program is divided into object, whereas in POP it is divided into function. In OOP, each object controls its own data, whereas in POP, each function has its own different data. OOP has focuses on security of data, whereas POP follows systematic approach to solve the problem. Data hiding is possible in OOP, whereas no easy way of data hiding is there in POP. Inheritance is a concept, that is reusability is allowed in OOP, which is not actually there in POP. And C++ is an example of object oriented programming, where Pascal and Fortran is an example of procedure oriented programming. Thank you, dear students. Meet you in the next